The Giants' haphazard, unorganized arrival at the decision to bench Eli Manning highlights how dysfunctional and out of touch the organization has become, from co-owner John Mara on down. The Giant way once referred to the classy, above-the-fray methods of a franchise that operates on principles that others might compromise, but not the Giants. They do things the right way. But this week, the image of Eli Manning struggling to compose his emotions and be that true Giant once more, juxtaposed against the organization's callous and clueless handling of Manning's benching and demise, shockingly unveiled the ugly reality. Manning, to his likely end as a Giant on Tuesday, was the actual embodiment of the revered so-called Giant way that fans cling to. But the Giants, from the well-meaning but misguided co-owner Mara to unaccountable GM Jerry Reese to tone-deaf head coach Ben McAdoo, showed themselves to be the opposite. The Giants, once thought to be the standard, sloppily treated Manning like yesterday's news. The Giants, as is becoming their habit lately, did it all wrong. Alex Brandon Knapp Mara is a good man and definitely tries to do the right thing. But the past 3 years he has botched 3 colossal decisions: the retention of Reese as GM after the 2015 season, the 2016 resigning of wife-beating kicker Josh Brown last season with admitted knowledge of his transgressions, and now his oversight of the disastrous handling of the clear end of Manning's Giants career in 2017. Manning for 14 years has been the face of the franchise. But in that time the Giants' reputation as a first-class organization perhaps was not only buoyed by Manning's face and manner and reputation, maybe that perception arguably was molded by it. Manning's handling of the New York spotlight always was taken for granted. As Mara said Wednesday, clearly pained by the decision and by Manning's tearful reaction on Tuesday, he's not only a special player but a special person. And when you see him get that emotional, it's tough. See, the thing about him is, to a lot of players, this is just another team, another franchise. But to him it means something to be a New York Giant. And that's what makes this so much different. But what does being a New York Giant mean without Manning? Not as much now as it did on Monday, that's for sure. The Giants so strongly felt the backlash from the video posted by the Daily News Tuesday of Manning tearing up at his locker that the team requested no video or photos be taken of Mara Wednesday addressing the painful topic. Apparently, embarrassing one franchise icon this week was enough. Mara said Wednesday at his impromptu press conference in East Rutherford that on Monday, he had given McAdoo the okay, via phone call from Virginia with Reese, to inform Manning that backup Geno Smith would begin entering games with Manning continuing to start. Mara had told his GM weeks prior that he wanted to see his backup QBs play in this lost 29 season. But this was a plan, Mara admitted Wednesday in hindsight after an emotional morning meeting with Manning, that the proud quarterback never would have supported. "This is my fault. I was probably naive. I did not expect Eli to say go ahead and start the other guys," Mara said. "Especially after speaking to him today, I completely understand that. Maybe I would have handled that differently." McAdoo then went off script and told Manning he would be starting Sunday's first half in Oakland against the Raiders, and that Smith would be playing the second, regardless of the score at half. The hardline arrangement, as McAdoo pitched it publicly, was basically only to maintain Manning's 210-game start streak. And so Manning understandably slept on it and returned on Tuesday to say, "Forget starting me, just to start me, play the other guys." Mara on Wednesday did not hide his displeasure with McAdoo's role in the fiasco that ensued. He said of McAdoo's pitched plan to Manning, "Well, it was presented the way Ben thought it ought to be presented. And could we have done it differently? I guess you argue that we could have, yes." Howard Simmons, New York Daily News. Mara clearly had not envisioned limiting Manning to one half per game. One didn't necessarily think it had to be at the half. "I think if he's playing well in the first half, we're winning the game. It looks like we've got a chance, the offense is clicking. I would argue then keep him in the game. But having him definitively come out at the end of the first half, I can understand why Manning would object to that." And Mara said among his regrets were that the timing of it could have been a little different. "I wish I could have been here when that was all going down. But Mara is the boss, so why didn't he step in when Manning came back on Tuesday?" Clearly offended by the plan, "I did have some pause," Mara admitted. But then, having talked with Jerry about it and accepted the fact that Eli had slept on it overnight and had time to think about it, he and I texted each other. I wanted to talk to him on the phone, but he preferred to do it face-to-face because I couldn't get here until today. So yeah, it did give me some pause. But once I realized that he had slept on it overnight and that was his decision, we went ahead. In other words, McAdoo again mishandled the situation, demonstrating he is unfit to be head coach. Or as Mara said of McAdoo's inability to be more delicate or compassionate with Manning, I don't think that's necessarily his strength. And this must be said, the only rise out of Mara Wednesday came when he was asked what he thought of McAdoo's coaching job this season. "I'm not gonna, we're 29, yeah no," an exasperated Mara said. "We're 29, okay, I'm embarrassed about that. Nobody's doing a good job. Let's just say McAdoo should start checking real estate listings in more affordable price ranges." Still, Mara has overseen all of this, and the tarnish on the Giant brand starts with decisions he has made. Only he and co-owner Steve Tisch can fix it. Cleaning house would be a good start.